Hey dudes, this is Duke and you're watching Level Up Dude TV! Today we're playing Elder Scrolls Online and I'm going to be showing you my low-level Sorcerer AoE Grinding Build. Now the first skill I'm using is Silver Bolts, which is the first fighter guild skill that you get, which causes single target damage but uses stamina instead of magicka. And when you're playing a Destruction Staff caster, everything you use is magicka. So you need something to use stamina to cause extra DPS. Anyway, the second skill I'm using is Lightning Form, which increases armor and spell resistance for 6 seconds as well as dealing shock damage every second. Now I'm using this to get myself to become more tanky because I'm going to be in the midst of everything. My third skill is Wall of the Elements, which creates an elemental wall that deals damage every just under a second and lasts for around 2.5 seconds. Now all these skills I'm going to be talking about are without morphs because it's low level. I'll show you what skills to morph them into eventually. And then my next skill is Lightning Slash. At the time of this video I didn't get this yet because I was actually using a summoner type of build and then I realized it's just too slow. So anyway, so the fourth skill is Lightning Splash from the Stormcalling skill line. This creates a pool of lightning for 3 seconds that deals shock damage every half a second. And my last skill is Mage's Fury, which is basically the execute, if you've played WoW. It deals minor shock damage, but if it's under 20% health, it will be like a one-shot kill. And once you morph it, you will gain mana if you use the skill to kill enemies. And then for ultimate, I'm using Overload. Now, changes your light and heavy attacks, and drains ultimate instead. And they're just crazy, it's just so much stronger. And also one thing to add is that if you use Overload, it changes your skill bar. So when you're using Overload, you can add different skills onto that. Similar to like a weapon swap, even though you don't have weapon swap yet, which is good. Now the heavy attacks for Overload is basically an air effect. It's kind of like channeling, you just hold the button and just everything just drops. It's crazy how strong it is. I'm not sure if there's a limitation to how many targets you can actually hit at that time. Now the basics of air effect grinding is that I'll start single targeting a couple monsters, drag them to a group, and then I'll start with Lightning Form so I can survive the initial gank basically. And then I'll throw a Wall of the Elements down to air effect damage, so both these two skills are causing all the damage. At the same time, I'm constantly using light attacks or heavy attacks, preferably light attacks since they're faster so you can throw in a couple skills in between, and then drop a Lightning Splash. Usually anything is dead by that time. If they're not, just use Mage's Fury to kill off the remaining ones and Silver Bolts. Okay, now let's talk about the morphs, or the final build, before you actually get Impulse, which is the Destruction Staff rank 38 skill, which is basically what everyone uses for air effect grinding eventually. Now, on the first skill, you'll have Lightning Form, which is the tanky spell I talked earlier, and then Wall of the Elements, and then Lightning Splash, and then Encase. Now, Encase is basically a root for 4.5 seconds, so you can step away a bit to allow you breathing room, and then Mage's Fury. Now, you're gonna want to morph Lightning Form into Thundering Presence, which increases the duration, which causes more damage, which lets you last longer without using more magicka to cast it over again. You're gonna morph Wall of the Elements to Elemental Blockade, which increases the size and the duration of the spell, which will cause damage, and you won't miss a couple monsters walking out of your air effect. Now for Lightning Splash, you're gonna want to morph it into Liquid Lightning, which initially deals an extra 72% damage on the first hit as soon as you cast the spell. Just more DPS, that's what we want. And for Encase, you're going to morph it into Shattering Prison, which does the initial root, and then after the root finishes, it will explode for more air effect damage. For Mage's Fury, you're going to want to morph it into Endless Fury. Now, Endless Fury, when you actually kill monsters with your Mage Fury, or now Endless Fury, it restores magicka for every killing blow you get, which keeps the grind going on for longer. Now I've included both builds in the description below, first with the one with Silver Bolts, and then eventually the one using all the air effect skills minus Impulse, because you're probably, for my rough estimate, I'm guessing I'm going to be getting Impulse around maybe late 20s if I keep on getting skill books for Destruction Staff as well as grinding constantly. Thank you for watching. This is Level Up Dude TV. If you like this video, subscribe, like, and comment. And don't forget to level up, dudes!